Hello! Last time we built this, which is a little test show that we can use that plays a song and bases its timings off command blocks. Now that's all good and great, but it's not exactly what we need. So I've created a new plugin for this that will have a few of the utilities that we need. So I want to build an amphitheater at a 1-to-1 scale because I think that would look good for what we want to do. But in order to do that, I'm going to need to build it. So we got to use a couple tools that are custom built. Now, I wrote these tools years ago when I was working on the Studio Network. And I've since updated it to work in the latest version of Minecraft so we can use it for this. So the first tool I want to use is called the outline tool. So outline has a few different commands we can use. /outline reference point. And I'm going to set my reference point to 0, 0, which means that our location will be at 0, 0. So outline, and I'm going to set a heading of 0, a length of 0, and a height of whatever the height is of the building, which if we look here, I have Google Earth Pro of the building I want to build. It's at 352. So right at this location, which is at 0, 15, 0, we have our block. So now I want to take a tool. There's this ruler here that we can use to measure in meters because 1-to-1 scale is 1 meter is 1 block. We'll go down, measure from this point to this point. Oops. From this point to that point, right? Yep. So that is 21 meters. Whoops. So we have 21, 136.18, and then 427. And I'll round it up as 22. What is the height? 353. So now we have a block. So I can take this and make a line. I then continued to make more and more lines, getting everything right, measuring it out in Google Earth Pro, and just overall building what will be my structure. This is called an outline. It's not the actual structure, it's the shape of the structure at scale. So once we have the outline of what our buildings will look like, we can size it up, get it to the right height, and build our full building. It's a long, tedious process of figuring out what works and getting it to the point where it needs to be, and slowly we'll get there. As you can see, we now have the outline of the stage part, but this build has a huge canopy over it. So what we ended up doing is just making more outlines. I just decided to go 1 block above, so in case it overlapped, things didn't go crazy. I made my outlines at different points, and since it's kind of an arch, I just made outlines at different points in this curve, and then I made one line that goes over the curve. It's a long process, but we got... Alright, so I took that amphitheater that we built up in the sky, and I moved it down here, because it'll be a lot easier to work down here, and we don't necessarily need it to be at a 1-to-1 scale. It just needs to function. So we'll do that. And that should be the shape of our building. It's not going to be ideal, but it will work. So we're going to have pillars on each end. Scale that down. Bring that down. Point in between and bring that down. Okay, so we have pillars and we have our shape. That should be the beginning of our amphitheater. So I did a little work on the stage. I moved the piano build over here. This is going to be a 3D model eventually. I moved a temporary drum set over here. Again, will also be a 3D model. And I have 2 spots to stand. one for a singer and one for a guitarist, which is good. So that's going to give us what we need to get started. And I want to redo what we did last episode. We did all those timings and everything with Redstone, which is good and all, but we have a better system now. So let's hop into that new system. So I'm on the files to the server right now. If I type nano, let's see, walkon.yml, this should give us a file that we can work with. This is a YAML file, and it has a tag main, and it has ticks. So at 0 ticks, type command cmd message HW7 hello world. And then 15, let's go to 20. Type command actually that shouldn't be a command, that should be a end show. So that should end the show. So if we go back to Minecraft, it's not a YAML to walk on dot that. So now that messaged me, and there's no shows after that. And in our show, let's change this to 500. So 5 seconds later. So quite a few seconds later. Let's see. So theoretically, we could redo this whole system we did here last time in this format. So how many ticks are in redstone tick? Redstone tick is 2 game ticks. Okay. So theoretically, we could recreate this whole system here with this new format. If we go here, nano test.yaml main 0. So this will be 4, 8, 10, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 16, 20 ticks later. So at 20 ticks, or 1 second, we have a command, which will be the motion capture command. And that's piano, voice, drums, and guitar. All play. And at the same time, this command happens, which will set that starter to air, so we don't need to worry about that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 40, 41, 42, 45, 46, 47, 48. So 48 times 4 is 192 redstone ticks. So 96. Wait. No, it's double that. 384. And that's plus the what? 4, 8, 9, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 20. So it should be at 40. And then 384 we will have a new command, which is this one. $3.90, just to give type. And show. Test.yaml, test.sn script. We do, if we go back into here, show start test. Oh. So now that should work. Let's run our test. Aha. We aren't using the redstone anymore. We get them all here. Walk on stage. They get to their places. And perfect. Awesome. So that works. Okay. So we have that. Now we don't need any of this anymore. That can be removed. Actually, what we can do is that. We have that test command, which would go here. Which is that. Of course, we're not going to be using it, so we just comment it out like that. And that goes there. Awesome. And it doesn't record. Perfect. So the next order of business will be to get our final plan for what we want to do here. And that will be what we'll do in the next episode. Now that we have the systems ready to do this, we can do it. /give. So now that we have everything we need to get this done, we'll start getting things done. That is all the time I have for this episode. It's going to be a relatively short one, just to get some things done. So that'll be it. All right. Bye.